Hello everybody, I am the Linkzilla and welcome back to Minecraft Jurassic Park. Now, when we last left off, we had just completed the sauropod pen all the way over there. As you can see, I've got a lot more anchor or waypoints out there that I can connect to. And there's Robert just walking around. I'll explain what those are all about later. We moved the brachiosaurs, with the exception of one, all the way over there. I also did some work with Visitor Center Lake here. Finally found a way to stop the sturgeon from spawning and lagging the game, basically to change the biome of the water into just regular plains instead of it being a river, because they can only spawn in rivers. Yeah, that was a smart thing to do. Anyway, we go into the Visitor Center. Man, I really need to finish this thing. You guys ever heard of completion anxiety? I think I have that. I mean, sometimes I just get used to the way things look and just don't want to complete them. Mainly because I have no idea what the interior of this place is actually supposed to look like. I mean, I went down to Orlando and I saw what they had. There were murals all over the walls and everything, but I don't know, it just looked different. I mean, they had a friggin' burger stand up at the top level. I don't think that Jurassic Park actually has a burger stand in the top level of the visitor center. And I need to get an actual skin for you. Anyway, we're gonna go over here. We're gonna go to... You know what? I'm gonna move these out of the way. We are going to take our Parasaurolophus eggs. Yep. According to InGen's list, I basically could breed up to 15, but I'm not going to do that, because, I mean, even though I can breed up to 15 easily, I would rather, do this legitly. I mean, and I'm not going to spend all the time cultivating 15 eggs. I'm not going to cultivate 15 eggs. I'm just going to cultivate these two. I'm going to try to make sure they're at least one male and one female, so... If they both end up being both the same gender, I'll probably have to, hatch another one to make sure, so... I'm just gonna, do a population that can actually begin breeding, and that's how I'll get all of it. Right, so here we are at the Visitor Center gate. Now, basically speaking, I've been really keeping myself busy because you guys might notice that there's something a little bit different. Because, after the last video when I pointed out all the deforestation, I finally decided to do something about it. Look over there. Yep. The last time that you guys saw this entire area was deforested and the trees basically didn't have tops to them, but now it's all been repaired. And I can prove that it is basically been like that because we'll basically follow along this path. We'll follow along the fence here for a little bit. And I will show you guys how much the forest has come back in. The jungle, I should say. Here's basically where there was a natural gap in the forest. As you can see, it looks more organic. It looks kind of just like a blotch here. And it's a small clearing, so it's not that big a deal. By now, we definitely would have hit areas that I had completely just completely erased and completely etched out, removed all the trees and whatnot. But as you can see, we are still in very thick vegetation, forested jungle area. This was ultimately one of the problems, though. For some reason, I ended up might have messed up a little bit and not gotten the bottom of the trees. I'm fairly accurate that all these trees are in the position that they're supposed to be in, but, well, there it is. it's very hard to judge because the island's elevation changes. The terrain isn't just flat all over around the island, and it's basically hard to judge. Here we are is where the fence goes off in a different direction. As you guys remember from that other video, this was basically all exposed. You could see it. This whole entire area was actually open. So now the forests have come back in. Let's go check on our brachiosaurs. Yep, this is the exact same area that I made this spawn point, this waypoint, and as you can see, the trees are all back. Yep, you can't even see the brachiosaurs in there. Let's go find them, shall we? We're going on Jurassic adventure. Oh, here's a baby. Hey, baby. Only 2 days old. Yeah, that's a potion of regeneration. It's a bit of a long story, but for some reason a witch started attacking one of my brachiosaurs, and it poisoned it. And it was a pretty bad fight, I should say so. I like seeing brachis squish zombies. It never gets old. Oh, here's another witch. Squashed. Ooh, redstone. I like this music. I mean, I gotta say that more often than not, I hate Minecraft's music because not only does it get too loud, but sometimes it just doesn't really fit. It feels like it just kind of gets in the way, but for the purposes of these videos, I'm gonna let the music play, and this, it kind of gives me a jungle vibe to it. Hey you! Get down from there! What are you doing? Get off my fence! Kinda wish that the brachis would stay in this area because there's kinda like a wide open space for them here, but I really wonder if they feel like they can't move around in here because they might destroy things. This one's relatively fed. This one is full. 46 days old. I know that they definitely laid at least 2 eggs since they've gotten here, so I don't need to worry about that. Now, according to the Lost World novel and the Jurassic Park movie, the Parasaurolophus stick relatively close to the brachiosaurs and the very large sauropods, and that's ultimately because the sauropods are incredibly large, but they don't have all that great eyesight. The Parasaurolophus, on the other hand, do, but they're smaller animals and can easily be taken down by a big predator like the T-Rex and whatnot, or even smaller predators like the raptors and the carnivores. So, effectively speaking, they form a symbiotic relationship where the Parasaurolophus keep a lookout for predators, and the Parasaurolophus give out a danger call if, like, there's anything dangerous nearby, kind of like what they did in Jurassic Park the game by Telltale. That alerts the brachiosaurs that there's something coming, after them, so it basically gives them... It pretty much sends the sauropods into defense mode, and because the sauropods are so big, they can easily, like, fight off any predator that comes close. So, I don't necessarily want to keep them so close by to where they'll mingle, but they won't ever leave each other. I want these animals to spread out, because there is so much space out there. Like, seriously, I honestly think that this map might be a little bit too big. It actually might be twice as big as it should be, so... You know what? There's this big open plain area out here. Let's go for that. They'll probably start out by eating the grasses, then they'll move towards the lines of foliage. I think that this is a good spot to hatch some babies. one. I'm keeping one on hand just in case, because you never know with these things. Man, these are some big eggs. But then again, their parents are huge. I like to keep this map fairly accurate to what the movie is basically like, so that means no Pachycephalosauruses, but I don't know. I feel like, I kind of can't help but feel like there won't be as many animals. I mean, I already have to replace, like, the, Metriacanthosauruses and Herrerasauruses with Ceratosauruses, and the, Baryonyx with Allosaurus, so it's already the brakes on that one. I wonder if I'll include Therizinosaurus anywhere in this on this island. So now, here, merry-go-round the eggberry bush, patrolling the nest. Ah, I've lassoed the egg. Man, the very last video, you could clearly see the fence all throughout here, and these trees, those trees over there, they were largely barren and they looked ugly, but now they've been restored, and I love it. It's great. If only fixing deforestation was that easy in the real world. The only problem is that because I brought these in from a map that didn't include the fences, well, the trees and the foliage are going to break through the fences at some point, so I'm just hoping that the animals largely avoid the fences and don't realize that they can, well, eat their way through. Because that happened with Butch. Yeah. Butch ate through his enclosure. That's what I get for making his enclosure out of trees. I thought that it would look natural. Oh, they're hatching. Got the Dinopedia at the ready. I love how they're in sync. Female. Come on, B-boy. And male, I've got them both. They're lawn mowing. Aw, they're so cute. They're basically like the size of pigs. And they're already singing. Hi there. I'm gonna be taking care of you guys from now on. Well, that's not 100% true. I'm actually more or less just going to leave you out here to fend for yourselves, but there are no predators in this area. In fact, the only predators that have ever been bred are like 700 blocks that way, and you guys are sealed in here. Wait, no, that's 1,200 blocks that way. That's something else. So they're all the way over there, and they're blocked off by several fences and several mountains. You guys are going to be safe here. Now, you guys stick together. You guys are going to grow up big. You guys are going to produce lots and lots of babies. You guys are going to fill this entire area. You guys have got some pretty big neighbors over in, that direction. But don't worry, they're largely friendly. They're good people. They'll look out for you. Right, so now that I have one extra para egg, I'm just going to put it right there in my briefcase. There we go. You just stay nice and warm. Aw, the sun's going down. It's going to be nighttime soon. It's nighttime, and I'm still in in survival mode. Aw, so cute. Good old Elvis and Priscilla. Aw, they're so cute. I might as well mark this place with a waypoint. I'm gonna give it a light green, because they're green. You guys see any zombies out there? It's creepy how they just tend to pop up, you know? Oh, and they spotted me. They're coming this way. Access denied, friend. Well, might as well show you guys like the rest of what I'm going to be up to in the coming weeks, maybe even months. I'll be sure to check in occasionally with more updated videos. I like that. I like how the fence isn't visible until you get close and then it just kind of fills itself in. Here is something that I think you guys will appreciate. You see that green M in the distance, about 22.62 blocks away? Yeah, that's something interesting. Basically, I went out into the jungle looking for the Tyrannosaur area, and I've already marked that area off. I basically went out looking for the Tyrannosaur area, and I was just going in the same direction, looking for where Rexy's enclosure is going to be, and then I happened to stumble across something that I legitimately thought that I would never ever see again. And we are going to go check it out right now. I basically was just going out looking for stuff to do when I happened to pass right by this thing. It's pretty big. Anyway, when I first got onto this map, I decided that, look, there's no way I'm going to be able to do any of this from basically without knowing exactly where I'm going. I'm going to need a way to actually keep track of all this, so I decided to go around and try mapping the entire island using Minecraft maps. And as you can see, this is the amount of progress that I made. And this was the amount of area that the map actually needed to cover. This wall that's basically been made to cut out look like Isla Nublar to keep the entire map is basically over 100 blocks tall at its longest point. Literally speaking, like, I started doing this, it took me about maybe 2 weeks, and I just thought that, okay, this just is not worth it. So, I just decided to abandon this project, and I never took down the coordinates of where it was supposed to be, and considering how big this friggin' island is, I thought that I had lost it forever. So, we go over here, we take a look at all these chests, they are all filled with maps. Maps of this island. That is how many maps it took to actually get this thing going. Damn. The ironic thing is that if you stare at the map long enough, you can actually begin to see the pattern of where the foliage is, like, copy-pasted over. Up, there we are, right there. That's where the map currently is. That little green dot means you are here. There's the main road. And that should be where the main gate is, or at least relatively close by to it. That is Visitor Center Lake, and as you can see, the Visitor Center is nowhere to be found because I took this map back before I made the Visitor Center. As you can see, there's that white line, kind of like similar to that other map down there where we are currently indicated, because that's where this map used to be. I originally started building it over on Visitor Center Lake, but when I realized just how big it was going to be, I realized that I had to move it. Yeah, you can see that the seams, every few chunks or so. There's a direct line that's moving work pattern across the entire island. Hard to believe, but navigating the entire rim of the island was probably the most irritating part. It literally drove me insane because I kept thinking, oh, for the love of God, can it just end? It keeps going on and on and on. I just want this to be over so that I can do something else, please. And even then, I still ended up missing some portions because I was just really going through the motions at that point, just trying to get through this entire island. Very, very big. Almost too big, I should think. I really do sometimes think that maybe this island is, even though it's one-to-one scale, I don't think that it's to scale with Steve, practically, because, I don't know, I would think that an island like maybe half this size would actually work. The maker of this map only did like 1/4 of the size, but that's too small. Everything feels compact and pressed together, which probably would be good for a Minecraft game, but I still definitely want a lot of space, because I feel like there's going to be a lot more stuff to do, but presently, I don't have any indication to continue making this map. I just thought I'd show you guys because it's interesting. There's actually another map that's actually way over in that direction, and it's basically like close to a shoreline, but I guess it's basically lost too. Anyways, I think I can take this helmet off considering that it's dawn. Might as well get away from the map. I feel like it's lagging me out. That's creepy. I like how the jungle comes into view, but it's like coming in through a misty fog. Because that's what Isla Nublar is supposed to be. It's supposed to have an almost perpetual fog bank, kind of like Skull Island. In fact, it's even called Cloud Island. So anyway, now that I've gotten all that out of the way, it's time that I basically start exposing you guys to some pretty bad news. I think that we need to at least find the Tor Road first. It's going to take us towards that golden T over there, but I think I'd rather approach it from using the road first, so if we keep going in this direction, we'll eventually cross the main road. I like this music because it gives a rather ominous sense of foreboding as well. Man, this jungle is beautiful, isn't it? So much green. Basically, you could just get lost in there. Ah, there it is. At least I hope this is the main road and not a Tor road. It should be. I mean, even though there's a perimeter fence over there, I'm pretty sure that this is the main road. That perimeter fence is just part of, like, an animal enclosure. So anyway, this is the main road that the characters in the movie were basically taking during the tour of the island. It basically loops around and goes all the way up here, and this is where they are beginning to approach the Tyrannosaur paddock. So, you see what I mean about the music being a little too loud? It's kind of getting on my nerves a little bit. As you can see, we're beginning to approach the T, and this is where we stop. And as you can see, this waypoint is meant to indicate where the tunnel is supposed to begin. Why are we stopping here? Because this road goes up the mountain. And I've already tried going up this mountain with the car from Flan's mod, and it's just not going to work. According to the Jurassic Park map, basically speaking, this is supposed to be the start of a tunnel that interweaves through the mountains, going all the way through these mountains, just twisting and turning underneath, following some kind of road or pattern or whatnot for about 800, 900 or so feet. Let's just round it up and say that it's 1,000.
I'm tired.
Yeah, these are some big mountains. There's no way a car is going over all of this. So the tunnel is supposed to basically weave its way around through the mountains and whatnot until it can basically rejoin the main road somewhere close to... Basically, the tunnel is supposed to come out all the way over here. And I don't know about you guys, but that seems like an incredibly long way. 900 blocks. And it basically is meant to follow a pattern that I have no idea how I'm going to replicate. This is the Tyrannosaur pen. This is actually the area where the tour vehicle gets thrown over the side. And this is the area where Rexy comes in. Now, maybe it's just because I actually know the island, maybe it's because I actually pay attention to the frickin' movie, but everybody who basically criticizes that somehow there was suddenly a huge drop in the island where Rexy comes in through the fence, yeah, they're not paying attention. I plan to exposit all this more in the video, but simply put, Rexy is standing here. She breaks the fence. The fence is made up of cables. Cables can only keep their taut straight if there is their taut form if there is tension. By snapping the cables over there, the cables over here begin to weaken and wane and droop. And you actually see this happening during the movie itself because by the time Rexy is done destroying the car, the cables over here have completely sagged, making an opening that she can now push the vehicle through. I'm planning to basically do another video, basically like calling out people who said that, because let's face it, it's one thing to basically criticize a movie when it does something wrong, but when you're not paying attention enough attention to the movie, where you're calling out something that the movie actually doesn't do wrong, that's where I get mad. When you basically like denounce a movie for being stupid without doing a single minute's worth of research on it, that is when I get angry. And then when you crawl around on the floor as you, a nearly 40-year-old man, throwing a tantrum like a fucking toddler because you think that the movie is dumb, that is basically when the guys in white suits need to take you to a padded room. Alright, so this is basically the tour road running north after we leave the Tyrannosaur paddock. That's actually supposed to be a maintenance road that cuts through the jungle, and that's actually supposed to be where Muldoon and Ellie and Malcolm get chased by Rexy in the Jeep, but over here is where the tour road is supposed to diverge off and go into yet another tunnel. And instead of going all the way over there, I'm just going to use the waypoints. But the worst part about it is that because the terrain is so rocky and so hilly, this tunnel could potentially have one of 3 openings. This is opening number 1 that we're currently at, or number 3. This is we're going to teleport to opening number 2, and as you can see over here, the problem that I have with this road is that not only does it go on the side of the hill, which will make driving it awkward, but it goes up this hill towards this fence barrier, and look, the road stops. Where's the road? Where's my road, Summer? Where are my testicles, Summer? So effectively speaking, that distance is about, yep, another 900 blocks away. This job is going to be a tall order. I need to do this full time. I can't be distracted by anything else. This is going to basically suck up my whole life. I gotta make a career out of this. Donate to my Patreon when it comes, I suppose. So, this is basically the second area where I see another tunnel being, because, like, when you have wide open spaces, you don't necessarily need a tunnel, so let's just go for the next tunnel. This is basically where the tunnel opens for the last time. As you can see, the road basically goes right up to a steep incline. So it's definitely going to have to cut through this mountain. And fortunately, this tunnel will probably be the easiest to dig because the opening to the tunnel is only 300 blocks away from this one. So let's see where the tunnel closes. Yeah, it's your stupid fault for standing there. As you can see, the road goes right into this mountain. So yeah, definitely I'm going to have to dig. But that's not all, because there's also 1/3 tunnel. It's going to have to be made, it's going to have to be taken care of, and it's going to drive me insane! According to the map, I'm pretty sure that this is like an area close to where the T-Rex is supposed to fight the Triceratops in the Jurassic Park Telltale game, so maybe I could use this open area for more Triceratops enclosures. I know that the sick Triceratops is actually supposed to be somewhere farther up ahead. In fact, it's supposed to be on the other side of the river, and I have absolutely no idea how they do that because I don't remember them crossing a river at all throughout the movie. Okay, so now I'm going to take you to the last tunnel, and this last tunnel is actually going to irritate me the most. Yep. Basically, this is where the tunnel begins, so let's go all the way up here. It is going to have to go through this entire mountain range, the largest mountain range in the map. And there go the fences. Why are there 2 random pieces of yellow clay here? What? Pumpkin what? As you can see, the tunnel is only about 400 blocks away at this point, so it might not seem all that bad. Cannot believe that I'm not just teleporting you the rest of the way. Because this tunnel is going to pose an interesting problem, because this tunnel is not a maintenance tunnel or anything like that. All 3 of these tunnels are part of the main tour roads. So, I'm definitely going to have to do them in order to actually make sure that I can complete the actual tour loop, because, as you can see, there's no road down there going through the jungle. Instead, the road basically just starts randomly here. So, literally speaking, when I build the tunnel, it's going to have a very steep incline in order to carry the tour vehicles all the way up this path. So the road continues here. And this is the section of the island where the tour road kind of loops around. In fact, according to the extended version of the script, the unedited version, the uncondensed version, this is actually the turnabout where the tour vehicles manage to turn around. There's supposed to be another tunnel here that connects these 2 sections of road, so that's going to be easy to do. So, basically speaking, like, I always found that so weird, because it felt so nonsensical to me. basically, after they see the sick Triceratops, which is farther to the north that way, they were farther along down the tour, to the point where if they continued down the road, they would have basically like been back at the visitor center much sooner. But instead, they took this turnabout to basically turn the tour of vehicles around and send them back the way they came. I mean, it doesn't necessarily make any sense if you think about it. I mean, it's a problem in both the movie and the novel, I think, but I think that in the terms of the novel, the road actually passes by the same paddock, like, several times, so basically speaking, like, they were going to pass by the T-Rex area eventually again anyway, so I don't know, it just, in the movie, it kind of feels like a contrivance to put them back towards the T-Rex. And there's also the unseen butterfly effect that these movies basically have that basically contribute to everything that went wrong. Like, I could get into that later. That's actually a video, but actually a series of videos that's better suited for another time. Anyway, this road continues north, and it should head back towards the river that basically bisects the main tour road, but that's going to take a long time, and I'm just going to want to get to it. I'm just going to want to get to the parts that I want to talk about. So, if you guys will hold on for 1 second, I will basically, like, open it up, and I will show you what I am talking about. There we go. This is actually a more accurate map based on what I'm actually going to be working with. The problem is that this map is, it's not really all the best quality. The other map has better quality, and so I ended up, this is actually the map that was, like, used to actually make the actual island for Minecraft, used by Everything JP. I just don't like how the quality of the map is not good. You can basically tell what each icon is supposed to represent, but the images are just not really all that great. This right here is supposed to say Gallimimus Stampede. This is supposed to be Broken Eggshells, High Wire Stunts, Neema's Story, etc., etc., Brachiosaur Herd. So basically speaking, this unfortunately is the map that indicates that I have some tunnels that need to be digging. Over here, you can see that's the turnabout area that we were just at, right there. And this section is the tunnel that's supposed to go through the mountains, completely underneath the line of fences that enclose the Parasaurolophus enclosure. And basically, it's supposed to come out at the other side of the mountain, and the road is supposed to follow it up until it goes all the way up the mountain to the turnabout. So, and going up over here, we follow the road, we cross another fence, we eventually come up to the river where we have the sick Triceratops. Now, the problem that I have is that the Everything JP map really only has this road right here, basically going from the T-Rex pen, and I ended up following that road for far too long, thinking that it was this road, but as you can see, it also does have this road, but this is where it comes to an end, right there. That's basically where the road ended that you saw on my Jurassic Park Minecraft game. And that's where the Triceratops fights the T-Rex, which is something that I horrendously disagree with, because it literally does not make any sense. Does not compute. But that's another topic for another video. As you can see, this line right here is meant to represent another tunnel that the visitor vehicles are supposed to go into. They're supposed to travel along, and that's basically how they get to this area. And, once again, basically and here's where the third tunnel is, from that area. From the area of, like, the jungle that meets the mountain, the cross-section of the fence, all the way under there. So, why am I showing you guys this? Why is this going to be a big problem? Well, basically I want this map to be as accurate to the movie as possible. I want it to be basically as one-to-one as possible, but these patterns here are basically going to be so hard to replicate for me to actually dig out on my own. The way that this map was made, it was made using a program called World Painter. what World Painter does is that it basically allows you to pretty much edit your own Minecraft world, make your own designs, make your own format your own land styles and whatnot. And that's how everything JP made this island, and he used this map. But unfortunately, because the roads that denote the tunnels end up basically going over the mountains, that leaves kind of like a road that goes over all these mountains that's just impossible to traverse. So, indicating how the tunnels are supposed to flow throughout the island underneath the mountains is impossible. So, because the road, whatever you paint on the island is just going to go over the mountain. So when I start digging, I'm going to be underground in total darkness, and I'm not going to basically know exactly how to dig out these tunnels. Now, you could say that I could use this map for reference, but the problem is, I exactly don't know the scale. Like, literally speaking, let's look at this section of the map. This section of the map leading from the visitor center to the main gate seems like such a short distance, doesn't it? You guys have seen on the Minecraft map, if I were going this distance on foot, it would take me the entire day just to get to the gate. And this section right here that goes off into this area, this one section that doesn't seem like it would be all that big is enormous. It's absolutely impossible how enormous this thing is. This map is friggin' huge, you guys. The game is so friggin' huge. So what I'm saying is that I don't exactly know the scaling of how it's going to be done. And I don't exactly know how I'm going to do it, but it's something that I set out to do, and it's something that I got to do. I can't let this project go. I cannot give up on it. After all of this, I have to continue. The show must go on. This is something that kind of bothers me. Let me see the legend here. Ah, so it is a tour road. Makes no friggin' sense. Yeah, as you can see, that symbol is meant to denote the tunneled tour road, so I'm not just pulling all this out of my ass. These are supposed to be service roads. I guess it makes sense that just being a tour road, but it ultimately takes us past the... It ultimately takes us past, I guess, the Majungasaurus, is that what it is? The Metriacanthosaurus, so... I don't know. I guess, in theory, visitors could take either road, see a different dinosaur. Let me see how the tour is supposed to go. Let's see, start out from the main gate, Dilophosaurus on the side... Pretty sure you follow along this area. See the Dilophosaurus again. Get to the T-Rex, but by that point you wouldn't have seen the Triceratops or most of the other herbivores. So I guess in theory you could either go through the tunnel, get a chance to see some Triceratops. Or you could basically go to the right and see the Metriacanthosaurus, and that would take you right up to not only the North Dock, but also the Marine exhibit. As you can see, that's the Mosasaur icon, which is supposed to denote the Marine facility. Yeah, I just wish that I had a better quality version of this map, because it shows so many great things. Like up here, this is basically where Dr. Sorkin's lab is supposed to be. That's where she was keeping the Troodons. This is where the chopper goes down. These were the maintenance tunnels. That's the geothermal power plant. Man, that's like quite some distance from the Bone Shaker, which is right here, and that's where the Herrerasauruses attack. Ironically, the Herrerasauruses are supposed to be, I think, enclosed in this area. Let me just confirm that. Yep, they're supposed to be right here. You know, I think that's a good thing that by then the Herrerasauruses moved on, because according to this map, after the Gallimimus Stampede, this is where Grant and the kids are supposed to cross out of the park. So, Who knows, maybe the T-Rex, like, roaring and following Grant and the kids kind of scared the Herrerasaurus into hiding. Or maybe they're nocturnal. Like, that makes more sense. Like, they only attacked at night during the Telltale game. So, oh boy, this map, it's going to be a chore, and it's gonna take years of hard work and dedication to actually make it happen. And that's why I continue to need and ask for your support. Thank you. Well, anyways, there's not really much left to do. Let's just finish off this video by going back to check on Elvis and Priscilla. Those aren't their real names. Those are just their counterparts from Kaijerica. So, if any of you new subscribers who just subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I am so grateful that you guys specifically want me to continue this series. You guys are aces in my book. If you guys want to, like, leave a recommendation for a name down in the comment section, I will definitely take that name under consideration, and you guys can have your own dinosaurs named after you, or whatever you want to name them. You can call it whatever you like. That music. It's kind of creepy. I'm kind of scared. I'm fairly alarmed here. I hate you. I hate you both. You know, when Hammond was saying that Jurassic Park was made for children, he was not talking about you little bastards. I'm demonetized already. What the heck do I care? My videos aren't monetized to begin with. Wow, I had no idea how far the paras actually were. Not that far. There are mobs all over the place. And here are my babies. I'd like to see them in the day. Yeah, but it's like midnight right now, so let's just cheat the system, shall we? I love it. I just love how, like, the food around them immediately breaks. You know, maybe I should give them some kind of toy to play with. I want them to be happy, you know? You know what? I don't usually do this for Jurassic Park because I kind of want these animals to exist naturally, and sometimes nature does not mean that you'll be happy with life. But what the hell? They're just babies right now. They deserve to have fun. Girls just wanna have fun. No. Play with the bubbles. Life is the bubbles under the sea. Anyways, this map is going to take a lot of work. I think that the next logical step for me to basically take, probably not show you guys while I do it because it's going to be long and tedious, kind of like my... Anyway, basically, the next logical step is to go back to the corner of the fence and start laying down the foundation for the next fence, because once we finish off this area, we will be going into Tyrannosaurus territory. In fact, I could be wrong, but I think that, like, once we go over this fence, we are actually in the Rex's territory. Let me just check that real quick. So, I am wrong, because that pen was actually the would-be pen for the Velociraptors. And damn, Hammond gave those bastards their space. Like, there's, like, so much open space that he gave to the raptors. It's incredible. It's uncredible, Jerry. But then, like, once we seal off this wall, let me just show you guys. I'm gonna go back to the map real quick. Alright, so... No. There we go. Okay, so this entire area was supposed to go to the Velociraptors, but that's before Muldoon and Hammond realized how dangerous they were, so the raptors are being kept over here in the doghouse. And don't worry, we'll get to that eventually. I got some great stuff planned for that episode. But this is where we left off, right here. So we complete this wall, these walls right here. Just close off that area. We will be in T-Rex territory. And believe you me, that's gonna be fun. I can't wait for it, because once that is basically done and implemented, you know who, she's coming on over. Yeah, basically, it's going to be an actual thing with me. I'm not going to breed a new Rex. I'm going to import Rexy from GanonGhidorah and bring her to Jurassic Park. Kind of like a Lost World kind of thing. So, I don't know, though. It's going to be a while before I can do that. I think that for the sake of it being incredibly easier to do, I might go along this wall and close in this area so that I can pretty much put some more Dilophosaurs in that area, give them a much more wide open space, complete the fence along the Tor Road in this section, just to basically enclose this whole thing off. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun, you guys. It's gonna be a lot of work. It's gonna be fun, but it's something that I gotta do. I mean, I have to do this. It's not only have I started it, but I've also come so far with it. And I'm not giving up. I'm not going to I might get bored with it. I might take breaks. I'm going to take frequent breaks. I might do something. I might do other projects for a while. But this, I'm going to stick with it. No matter what, I am going to stick with it. Which is why, really appreciate anybody who is willing to support me. If you guys think that I should get a Patreon page, and if you guys would actually like to contribute to help give me more free time to work on this project, I would be eternally grateful. So, thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a comment down in the comment section below, and be sure to like it. Liking videos seems kind of like a weird thing, but apparently according to the algorithm nowadays, it's actually what keeps big channels going. It's how they get their videos get more attention. So be sure to like this video and share it with your friends, share it with as many people as possible, and encourage them to comment, subscribe, and do the exact same thing. So you want to keep up to date on more Minecraft Jurassic World coming your way in the future, then hit that subscribe button and be sure to ring the bell. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next video. Later!